WeatherTech.com.
50 KTRS. What a program lined up for you today. Howard Richards on one of the biggest Mizzou football games ever, 10:35 in studio. Lynn Venhouse talking movies. We'll hear from Joe Molesky a little bit later in the program. Frank Cusimano with Jill Farmer, and boy, we're honored today.
Yes, Carl the intern, not going home, sticking around.
I'm here for you.
You are. Is this the first time that you have
No,
produced?
I did it before. You were not here. Frank was here.
Okay, this
Right.
is our first time
That
getting...
was the show we won the Marconi for? the
Yes,
two of us?
Missouri Broadcasting.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, congratulations, guys.
Do you guys know, like when you're in high school, what happens like on a Friday night in December or January or February? There's a basketball game, okay? There's two of them. So which game starts like at 6 and then the other one starts at 7:30? The one that starts at 6 is called the
JV or junior varsity game.
Very good. And then the varsity. So that's the way we kind of look at things here. You have been moved up to the varsity.
Thank you.
You've been on the JV for a long time, and now you're playing a varsity game. So congratulations.
Or he's
McGraw's-
being very kind on a Friday and
McGraw-
stepping in.
McGraw's not listening. So.
He's done.
Why start now?
Actually,
Connor is off today because
Connor
of a funeral.
as a family funeral today.
And a
which-
wedding tomorrow.
Yep. And so
Wow.
we're sending
Oh, did
our,
he ever buy the suit?
He didn't need to. I think he had already.
He had something.
He had something that worked well. It's all
By the way,
cleaned
are
and
we-
ready to go.
Are we all in agreement, practicality, that they should? I know you may not, you may disagree with me, but get rid of the tuxes for the guys and let the guys just buy the black suit that they can have for the rest of their lives instead of spending $300 for a tux. I
still
know
have
everybody
my
wants to
tux.
wear tuxes, but gosh, it's so impractical sometimes.
Yeah, but there is, you can buy a tux for a couple $100,
That's even better.
$250, and I do think.
Good idea.
I mean, John bought his at his first big law firm, holiday party when we were 23 years old. Didn't have 2 cents to rub together at Cy Sims. We scrapped together $99, and guess
What
what?
a great place.
He wore that at our daughter's wedding. A few years ago.
He's
and-
obviously an apostle of fitness, still in great shape.
No, you got to buy the adjustable pants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yes, and people have asked me, did he look like Steve Martin in Father of the Bride, where he had the ruffled shirt and the sleeve? No, it fit great. He's going to wear it for our second daughter's wedding in May as well.
I broke out one of those at a wedding the other day in Lake Tahoe, and it was double-breasted. And double-breasted's kind of made a comeback, so I don't think people were questioning the style. But believe me, that thing is old.
Now, we have never been invited to a wedding where all the guests were expected to wear tuxes.
Oh,
Was that one of
yeah.
those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I had to do that. Yeah.
That's kind of a setting the bar pretty high.
They're not a sponsor, but have you guys ever heard of St. Louis Suit Company in Clayton? Okay.
Yes.
That's one of their biggest parts of their business is that instead of people coming in and like renting a tux, they buy that black suit and the guy has it forever. And everybody needs a black suit. I think.
Yeah, I think there's something very practical about it. I mean, it's the age-old question: should the brides pick a bridesmaid dress that people can quote wear again?
Well, yeah. What's your take on that? I think that's a terrible thing for those girls to have to pay for that dress that they can never wear again. And why did they wear just everybody wear blue, everybody wear pink?
That's what now both my daughters did. The oldest said, pick a black dress that you like and that you might wear again someday, or that you want to have.
They did do that.
Yeah, and then
great call.
and then the youngest one has just picked. Everybody's wearing a different color because it's kind of tropical themed because the wedding's in Florida. So
but
everybody.
not a specific dress that you can't wear again.
No, they're picking their own dresses.
Yeah, now that's practical. That's smart.
Yeah, but sometimes if the bride's family has a lot of money, they'll pay for each of the bridesmaids' dresses, and they're covering that. We have not done
Really?
that either time. Because did you do that for Brooke's wedding?
I hope not. I don't know. I just paid the bill. I didn't look at the receipt. Yeah, that's wild. All right, so just a horrendous night in St. Louis last night. Carl, you got there at what time? So your torture lasted longer than anybody else's.
I got there at 3 o'clock yesterday.
Wow. Was that just unbelievable?
I'm trying to look for positives, Frank.
Yeah. Oh, but they'll be fine. It's 81 more games. They may win in Calgary on Saturday, but gosh, you talk about.
Didn't I hear
laying an
somebody
egg.
say that the year we won the Stanley Cup, we lost our home opener?
That's correct.
So it's a
But
good sign. It's a
They've
good omen.
never been shut out on a home opener.
Oh, I
ever.
don't like that.
Yeah.
In 58 years.
And we were trying to keep a roll going on those home wins.
Oh, yeah. What was it,
12
21 in a row?
Yeah. I was up in the press box with an NHL scout, and I asked him, "Is this as bad as I think it is?" He goes, "No." He goes, "It's a weird game," and it was a weird game in that, They got bad breaks, they got bad bounces, but they were also bad. You can't camouflage it. They'll be fine, though. They'll be fine.
Those two in a row in the middle of the first were,
Oh, yeah.
that just deflated the whole house.
The thing is, in the second period, they had 14 shots to 0 for Minnesota, and they got nothing out of it. So,
So our
and
offense,
2 power plays.
Yeah. So our offense needs to sharpen up its technique, and the defense needs to show up. It sounds like,
Yeah.
if I'm just hearing what you guys are saying. I was just glancing back and forth occasionally at the score, and
good
and
for
then it
you
wasn't
that you
good.
didn't invest much time.
Well, it wasn't good news, and so I was waiting to keep clicking
Yeah.
in for better news.
That's why I didn't make it part of the opening dialogue. I didn't want to bore anybody else. So, all right, let's take our first break. We will have the opening dialogue when we come back on the Frank and Jill Show.
You can count on Cantor. I'm Mark Cantor. When I was 12 years old, I witnessed my father, a pediatric doctor at Cardinal Glennon Hospital, suffer a terrible accident when a large and defective battery exploded in his face. My father went into shock and had to undergo emergency surgery to save his life. While my dad recovered, he hired a lawyer who promised that no one else would be hurt by that company's product, and he filed a lawsuit to make sure no one did. I love my dad, and what he went through inspired me to become a lawyer and to start Cantor Injury Law. Like my father, I serve the St. Louis community, and I have done so for over 30 years. You can count on Cantor to treat you like family, to understand your case and your injury, and to fight for you. You can count on Cantor to help make things right. Visit CantorInjuryLaw.com or find us on Facebook or call us at 314-628-9999. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision, should not be based solely upon advertisement, so call Cantor.
Hey there, it's Julie Buck, and I'm here with Jeff Zufall. He's the Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group. He's also the author of the #1 best-selling book on the new tax laws. It's called Keep What's Yours. Jeff, this October, what do we need to know?
Julie, October is officially Financial Planning Month. The One Beautiful Bill Act locked in many of the tax laws set to revert back to the 2017 rules. But there were also changes to the tax code in this law, and we can help. Since 1976, thousands of businesses have relied upon the tax strategies offered by Capital Advisory Group to help them reduce their future tax liability and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. If you're not taking full advantage of the tax law and you feel like you're paying more than your fair share, then let us help you plan for 2026 and take advantage of the new tax rules.
Give Capital Advisory Group a call, 636-394-5524. Online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Call the Closer with Lauren Risley Realty every Sunday afternoon at 1. Powered by Homestead Financial Mortgage on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis. The Big 550 has been live and local for 29 years, covering local news and keeping you informed with national and world news from ABC News. Now, our local news coverage is even more extensive, as KTRS now carries the First Alert 4 10 p.m. newscast, Monday through Friday. Join the names you know and trust.
This is First Alert 4 at 10. I'm Corey Stark.
I'm Samantha Jones.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton with a First Alert update on what's happening.
And sports from the Sports on 4 team. Just one more reason why KTRS is live, local, and your hometown locally owned station. The Big 550 and First Alert 4 depend on it.
Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Dan Lang. Join me every Sunday afternoon from 2 to 3 on the Big 550 for Animal Talk, where I talk about everything regarding dogs, cats, and other domestic animals. Topics include nutrition, training, medical checkups, special guests show up now and then, and of course, I'll answer your questions. So join me every Sunday afternoon from 2 to 3 for Animal Talk on the Big 550 KTRS, the Animal Talk of St. Louis.
And now the opening dialogue with Frank and Jill on the Big 550 KTRS. Powered by Worldwide Technology Raceway.
All right, here we go. Thought one. The beloved Sister Jean has passed away at age 106. She became a national sensation for her energy, her commitment to prayer, for her love of Loyola Chicago basketball. She was the team chaplain. How about that? What a job. She spent more than 60 years at Loyola, and we all got to know her during one of the most magical runs in NCAA tournament history. Little Loyola Chicago made it to the Final Four in 2018. She was on TV more than Dick Vitale. every game they played, they had the cutaway shots of this lovely woman, players hugging her in the wheelchair. My friend Porter Mosier, the coach, talking about her on national television. She was a national phenomenon. She even received an honor from the Museo Awards right here in St. Louis one year. And it wasn't just a team winning a few games in the NCAA tourney. Donations to the athletic department rose by 600%, merchandise by 300%. Jean Dolores Schmidt was something else. She was active in the civil rights movement when she was much younger and lived by one simple motto: loving others and God and taking care of your mind and body and interacting with young people. What a spectacular woman. She will be missed by everybody.
Turns out she retired. We talked about her retirement fairly recently.
Yeah.
She retired. She worked right up till the end. Little did we know that when we reported that story earlier in the week. So St. Louis Magazine's Mike Miller reporting this morning that Taste of St. Louis, pretty disappointing turnout, even though they moved it to Clayton this year. And a lot of the buzz, I think we mentioned it here, you certainly heard it other places, was, we have to move this out of the city because of crime and other things. And it's just, we can't have nice things in the city like this anymore. Apparently, not very many people came. There was finger pointing going on. The promoter says he doesn't even sure he wants to go back to Clayton. He doesn't think they did the best job on things like garbage removal. City of Clayton is saying for all the extra effort of hosting this, we need to see a better turnout for the people who show up. So time will tell. Bottom line, it was 100 degrees that day in August. Is August in St. Louis the best time to have a taste of or food festival, no matter where
it's a
you
bad
have
call.
it, city or suburbs? I'm guessing, maybe this is oversimplification on my part, that it was just one of those things where it's the kind of thing where people decide day of, and it was going to be 100 degrees, and that sounded miserable, and so they went out, did something different that day.
But you could increase your odds of having more people there if you tried in October. Right?
Or spring, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
just think about it. There's so many things going on in St. Louis all the time. I know it can be a minefield to try to schedule something like this at a time that's ideal for most of your potential customers to come out. I wonder, I mean, are things like taste ofs or food, do we have too many other things competing with our time and energy, and are we as interested in doing that anymore? Is the format itself something that needs to change?
Yeah, it's a good question for the text lines, too, about what would be the best month. October, you are dealing with, if you on a Saturday, college football, but, that's just St. Louisans that go down to Mizzou. I don't know. That's a good call. Because spring week, you could get burned by cold, yeah. But August, you're right. That's a bad idea. All right, let's go thought two. October 10th is a top 5 day for me of all time. It's Brooke's birthday. She is an all-timer. Nobody like her. She's the only person in the world that I can't have a bad time with. Never. Maybe because she was born between 2 boys and a dad in sports. That's why she became a tomboy. She wore a do-rag and hit wedges and three-pointers from her childhood till she was probably like 16. She never wore a dress. So dedicated. She used to wake up every morning from age 16 to 18 and would drive from Creve Coeur to Wing Haven and hit 300 golf balls before kids had their first Pop-Tart. But her best attribute is giving it to people in a fun fashion. Her best friend and she did an activity where it was an active service thing at a senior living facility once. And part of her job was to bring mail to the private rooms. And she walked into the room where a 90-year-old male was stark naked. She gasped, "Ah!" and ran out. So she saw her friend Aaron like 10 seconds later and said, "Aaron, I have to go down a floor. Could you deliver this mail, please?" And she waited for about 10 seconds and she heard, "Ah!" and she walked away and smiled. That's my girl. Happy birthday to my all-time favorite, Brooke.
That is awesome. No surprise that you have a daughter who's a Libra, kind of balanced in life, and that you two are a good pair together.
Yes, as Monique likes to say, she's Frank in a dress.
Really?
She is wearing dresses now.
Did she drive Monique crazy when she was younger?
And we always used to give Monique a hard time. We would say, "We're the street kids. You're the little villa girl." And Brooke and I were always on the same team. Whenever she got in trouble, she came to me.
And that worked out better for her as well. Oh, that's great. Well, happy birthday to Brooke, new mom, and now she has a already 2-month-old to celebrate with on her birthday this year, which is pretty darn special. So I love the opportunity to expose out-of-town guests. I got to do it twice this summer, to toasted raviolis and gooey butter cake. It's an easy sell. They are both delicious, and I would say 99.9% of people, once they try both of those, they say, where has this been all my life? And so that's a cool thing. Even though St. Louisans don't like to hear it, if you didn't grow up eating Provel cheese, you probably don't love eating pizza with Provel cheese. That can be a harder sell, kind of like my Australian friends. They love Vegemite. People who are not from Australia, not so much. Am I saying Vegemite and Provel are the same? Maybe, maybe not. Friends in Europe have said peanut butter is not nearly as good as most Americans think it is. Fact is, when you grow up with something, you love it. It can be more of an acquired taste, and you realize it if you didn't grow up with it when other people taste it for the first time. So my question is for you guys on the Royal Banks of Missouri text line today. What's something that's an acquired taste that you love that other people have said, no way? I know a lot of St. Louisans love mortadella. I do, but that's one of those things that if you didn't grow up with that particular taste, or liverwurst is another thing that a lot of people around here.
You almost said the word. I was going to say the one thing I really like that nobody likes is liver and onions, if it's really done well at a great restaurant.
Yeah.
Like everybody else is grossed out by it, or many people.
I did not like it as a kid, but as I got older, again, I acquired the taste. When I was a kid and it was on the menu at home, I was like, oh, Mom. One of the things that I loved growing up was called an open-faced sandwich. Do you know about this? No. Piece of white bread, scoop of mashed potatoes on top of the white bread, smothered in either turkey, yellow gravy and turkey, or roast beef and brown gravy. I described this to a friend of mine who grew up in the city of St. Louis, never heard of it, and she did not think mashed potatoes on white bread smothered with gravy and meat sounded like a good idea.
Actually, that sounds pretty good.
She was like, who ever thought of that? I was shocked because I didn't realize that everybody in the world did not think of an open-faced sandwich as comfort food. So again, it's whatever you were exposed to. Have you ever had an open-faced sandwich?
I have. I love them.
Okay, good.
Mine would be Italian bread and warm milk, which my grandmother would serve me. But she'd break the bread up and put it in. She'd cook it on the stove.
Italian bread
in warm milk, bread and milk,
cooked on the stove.
Cooked on the stove. Microwave doesn't cut it. It has to be cooked on the stove. The milk has to be nice and warm, and then you.
Doesn't it get soggy?
It does. It's like a cereal.
He says with a smile. All right, that's not bad. Gravy bread, we're getting some good Cincinnati cake. How about this one, Braunschweiger? Are you old enough to have had Braunschweiger?
Yes.
Okay, because that really is an old thing. And I don't know, my mom would give it to us all the time. What was she thinking? How about this?
That's liver, isn't it, though?
Oh, gosh. It's so bad for you, but I liked it, yeah. How about the Oscar Mayer bologna and those yellow things? Could have probably been like the least healthy thing, and we all grew up on it.
Yeah, with a slice of American cheese and some
on
mayo.
White bread.
On white bread.
Oh, my God. Or
lunch.
Velveeta cheese.
Sure.
Even worse, probably.
Yeah, my grandma, though, the one I couldn't do is she would do bologna and butter sandwiches, and that was not my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, like with a pretty generous layer of butter, that was not my favorite. But I'm telling you, bologna in other forms. Now, I never did fried bologna. I think that was more of a Southern thing.
And that is quality. Yeah, I like that.
How are you on the whole Spam thing?
Ooh, that's about where I have to draw the line.
Yeah, John loves Spam, and when we were in Hawaii, which is a big, it's very popular there, and
but that's probably home fresh or something. No,
but they cook it in a certain way with
love it in Hawaii.
pineapple, and they love it. And so he was in seventh heaven. Yeah, they call it a Hawaii plate, or it has different names, but it's very popular.
Somebody with a great suggestion. My husband likes chicken livers. Get the linguine and chicken livers from Pasta House. Yeah, I believe it's called Fegatini. And when we used to do radio shows there, Kim Tucci and I would always have that after the show. That was good stuff. All right, quickies now. Tara Khan, one of our great movie experts, along with Lynn on the Frank and Jill show, went to see Soul on Fire. And I was waiting for his review, and he said he loved it. So that is great to hear. You got to go see it this weekend, folks. Worst things in sports. Obviously, artificial turf, maybe indoor football, and I watched it last night, the tush push. Don't know if you watched any of the Giants and Eagles last night, but the tush push is like watching Australian rules football. It's like watching rugby. No speed, no grace, no agility, no innovation. Just 11 guys smashing into 11 other guys. The best thing that can happen to you out of this? A 1-yard run. Wow, that's exciting. Last night, the Eagles did do that, play after play. And I think I counted it up as they used like 3 minutes and 20 seconds of clock time doing that stupid play, the most boring thing in sports history. The NFL thought about outlawing it. They almost did. They better do it this offseason. It sucks. All right. Finally, there is a podcaster by the name of Hassan Shaks. Have you heard of him? Okay.
Nope.
I saw the video last night. He has this gorgeous dog who is right next to him when he's doing the podcast. The dog is on a mat. I thought, oh, this is really kind of sweet. The dog takes a paw off the mat and stands up just for a split second. And this podcaster zaps the dog and curses the dog. The dog just was like all shook up, and you hear like a little squeal. The dog wasn't chasing a squirrel, eating a brownie, or having an accident inside. The dog stood up, and the guy zaps her. Come on, if you're going to treat animals like that, maybe you shouldn't own an animal. Give me a break. It was terrible. You can look at it online. Hassan Shaks.
But I should say that when I first started here, Frank did ask if shock collars were available when it was time for me to stop talking, not one that would hurt real bad, but just a real quiet one.
That's when you went too long on Rick Springfield. But outside of that, I don't think you should wear one.
Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, he's kind of moved. He just gives me a signal now, and I follow that as well. Quick Hollywood wrap-up on Friday, because we like to do that nowadays, because you guys pointed out we don't do a lot of that on the show. Ozzy Osbourne has a new posthumous memoir, Last Rites. In it, he says that he'd known Matthew Perry personally, even though he didn't always remember him. Osbourne, of course, died July 22nd at the age of 76. And I thought this was a poignant way for him to describe being an addict. He said, being an addict is like carrying around an unexploded bomb that you can never put down. Osbourne, who certainly spoke openly about his struggle with addiction, said, hey, look at that Friends guy, Matthew Perry. He used to come to our house for AA meetings, or so my wife tells me. He said he couldn't remember everybody. And he said, he worked really hard at it and just could never get there. We're going to hear a little from Tay-Tay later in the show, but Jimmy Fallon, you may have seen this all over the morning news shows. He asked her if Travis Kelce proposed right after they filmed that much-awaited joint episode of the New Heights podcast. She said yes, and she said she should have known something was up because he was more nervous that day than she'd ever see him. And she said, by the way, this dude doesn't do nervous. By the way, he'd also put up blackout curtains all over the house and said it was because they were filming the podcast, but it was really because they were turning their outside yard into a fairyland, and that's why they were there. George Clooney fans, raising my hand right here. Ocean's 14 going to start filming in 2026. He says it is a great script. He says it's going to be fabulous, and it's the highly anticipated follow-up to 2007's Ocean's 13. I'll go see it. I think they're fun.
Dead, though? Isn't Danny Ocean dead? Because at the beginning of Ocean's 8, Sandra Bullock goes to his grave.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Good
So
thought.
we're going to find out it's a fake to death, apparently.
Well, they brought back Bobby Ewing on Dallas, so they can do anything.
Sure.
What was the quote again about the addict? That is so good.
Yeah, it really is. He said, being an addict is like carrying around an unexploded bomb that you can never put down.
That is the best description ever. That is so good. Hey, before we go to break real quick, there's a gentleman who works outside the Blues locker room. He's in a wheelchair. His name is Mike Anderson. He got shot when he was 21 years old. I spent a lot of time with him last night. Everybody loves him. Coach Armstrong or Coach Montgomery walked by. Hey, Mike, what's going on? Everybody loves the guy. Anyway, he works for a great organization, Joe. You may have heard of it. It's called... Oh, I got it right here. Oh, it's called Delta Center for Independent Living. Mm-hmm. So they basically help people who have disabilities live independent lives. Anyway, October 13th, coming up this weekend, from 6 to 8 p.m. at Chicken and Pickle, they're having a fundraiser. And Louis, the St. Louis Blues mascot, will be there. You can buy raffle tickets for some really cool things and raise money for a great organization. And this guy is just off the charts. I love him, and I really appreciate meeting him last night. But Delta Center, Independent Living Fundraiser, Chicken and Pickle, if you're free Saturday night.
I'm so glad you brought that up. It's a great organization doing great work for people in our community, and so I hope a lot of people show up and support them this weekend. Altair Travel and Cruises, our friends, of course, that do such a good job being an excellent resource for those of you who love to travel. And I think a lot of us do. And if you don't yet, maybe you just haven't had the right trip take care of things for you. We talk about it all the time. I used to be one of those, I can plan my own trip. I'm really good at this, and I'm really frugal, and I like to find the best deals out there. And, I don't think I want to pay a travel agent. And then I crossed over Altair Travel and Cruises, I discovered, can help you save a ton of money, right? Because they know where the deals are. They know about these things that are not open to the public. They also know what the regular pricing is, so they can tell you that sometimes those deals, quote unquote, you see on the internet are not really what they promise to be, because they are tracking prices, they are tracking seasons, they are tracking inventory, and they know all of that. Whatever your budget is, if you want to go on that no holds barred luxury trip, once in a lifetime, create memories you've never seen, they can do that for you. If you have a very specific budget and you say, this is what we have to take a dream vacation for 4 days to Mexico, help us with that, they want to work with you. 314-968-9600, altairtravel.com.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work. They're injected once weekly, and patients see within the first 90 days 10 to 15 pounds down. It simply works, and that's why I recommend it to all of my patients. You simply go online, book an appointment, you fill out a health questionnaire form, you get an appointment on our schedule. It's all telemedicine based. It's all done from your home, and then you meet with me or one of my nurse practitioners, and then after the 10, 15-minute consult, the medication is delivered right to your door discreetly, and you get started right now on your weight loss journey.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call stlmedweightloss.com and ask Dr. Joe. stlmedweightloss.com.
Royal Banks of Missouri and Cantor Injury Law are proud to sponsor this Saturday's big game. Your undefeated Mizzou Tigers welcomes the Alabama Crimson Tide to Burrow Field in Columbia. Kickoff at 11, pregame at 9.
Yeah! 2 tacklers to the house in Missouri.
Don't miss all the action live here on the Big 550. KTRS has full coverage all week on the Big Sports Show with KTRS Sports Director Brendan Lisi and the Press Box with Frank Cusimano.
Missouri delivers a counterpunch on the fake punt.
This is why the Big 550 is live, local, and the home for everything Mizzou. Proudly powered by Royal Banks of Missouri and Cantor Injury Law. Let's go Mizzou.
Some of my fondest memories as a kid is heading down to the hardware store. You had to pick up a couple of nails, a couple of screws, maybe a gallon of paint, whatever it may be, right? It was your friendly neighborhood hardware store. Well, those don't exist anymore in St. Louis, except for Schnarr's Hardware. They have 2 locations in Webster Groves and in Clayton Road in Ladue. Schnarr's Hardware is that place where you go in and you can get that bucket of paint, you can get a couple screws. The advice is always free. And the one thing about Schnarr's Hardware that every single family hardware store used to have, and that is the smell. It smells like a hardware store. It's got the selection. I don't know how they do it. It's a small store, but they got everything you ever need. They got the paint. They got paint matching. They've got big green eggs. They've got screws and nails and everything a hardware store should have. Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations, 1 great hardware store. Schnarr's Hardware, we'll see you there.
Altair Travel and Cruises is proud to sponsor KTRS Pink in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And they're partnering with one of their preferred suppliers, Alma Waterways. River cruising is a hot way to travel right now, and Altair and Alma Waterways are offering $100 off any new Alma Waterways river cruise bookings made through Altair October 1st through the 31st. Call Altair today to book your next river cruise at 314-968-9600 or online at altairtravel.com.
Country Club Car Wash is the best car wash in town. How do I know? I have an unlimited monthly pass to Country Club Car Wash, and it's fantastic. They're touchless, and you get free vacuums at select locations. Each and every day on the morning show, we will be giving away 1 free Country Club Car Wash to the text of the day. And each week, we'll be giving away a grand prize 1 month of free Country Club car washes to the text of the week. We'll see you on the show, and we'll see you at Country Club Car Wash, cccwstl.com.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
Well, the great Howard Richards in studio, and he has come with a gift for Jill's birthday, and he's brought the best gift possible, Jill.
These are Old Town Donuts, which many would say, including I think they won a national award recently, are the best. And you brought me this beautiful array. This was very thoughtful of you, my friend. Thank
only
you.
the best for you, Jill.
Thank you very, very much.
This is like an all-time food day for you because that wasn't your only pickup.
No. In fact, I know they're listening. Picked up burnt ends because we're having dinner tonight with our crew and the Alabama crew at Mike Kelly's house in Columbia. So
and burnt ends from the best burnt ends in the history of America.
Paul's Market, absolutely hands down the best I've ever had. I was going to try to claim them as my own, but I decided not to.
You were going to say, "Yeah, just whip these out."
That subterfuge would not have lasted long because Paul's is too good.
Not at all. And they know that I cook. And now Tom Daniels says that he may bring us some tomorrow for the game.
In the booth?
In the booth.
Or you're going to have them Friday night, then Saturday morning, because that's not enough
Why not?
burnt ends in your
Exactly.
life.
It's like eating cold pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and you're really showing up and showing out against the Alabama guys to say, listen, we got the real barbecue here for you people.
Exactly. You hit the nail right on the head, Jill.
Of all the food that we've ever had at the 2 radio stations I've worked, those burnt ends, and this is not an overstatement, that was the best thing I've ever eaten.
No,
Have
they're
you ever
like
been there?
candy.
I have
mean, they're so
only
good.
heard that and that they're better than everybody who says Jack Stacks and everybody is amazing.
Yeah.
That they're not. They're second at least.
How often do they make them? Is it just Saturdays or Fridays, or what is it?
You know, I don't know that they make them routinely. It was a special request. So
Well, he texted me last night and he said that he was making them for you, and he says, "I'm sure he's going to bring you some." I said, "I'm sure he won't." So, all right. In terms of, give us a little history here, like biggest games ever for Mizzou. Obviously, when they beat Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's number 1. The first Nebraska win from Pinkel was a big one. A&M game 2013, beating Georgia. But if you win this game on Saturday and you're 6-0, you can make a case for this being top 5, I imagine. Right?
No doubt. And I think the emphasis on this game being so big, and the biggest of Drink's career, there are college football playoff implications here because this would more than likely propel Mizzou into the top 10. Alabama is currently number 8. Mizzou's at 14. And the way upsets have been happening, throughout college football this year, who knows how high they could be ranked if you beat them.
Yeah.
But I think with the transfer portal, NIL, and with Drink's success through the portal, I think this is probably the most even that Mizzou has ever been with Alabama. In fact, Pro Football Focus, out of 12 different categories, ranked Mizzou ahead in 9 of the 12.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest one, the biggest concern, the scariest one, of course, is Mizzou's losing out to Alabama with regard to the secondary. So that's a big thing because Ty Simpson, the quarterback for Alabama, is playing extremely, extremely well. He's a good pocket passer, but also can move outside of the pocket. So it will be incumbent upon the Mizzou defense to sort of cage him in on every single play because he can hurt you. You want to make him one-dimensional, but you don't want him to hurt you in the passing game with big explosive plays.
So last year, I remember, just because of the preseason hype, right, which didn't necessarily end up serving our Tigers particularly well over the course of the season. We had a bunch of friends that went down to Alabama, to Tuscaloosa, to see the game because they were like, "This is it. This is the year we could do it. We're gonna." And then, of course, it was not a good game. We'll just say that. This year, I feel like people are more cautious. They're still optimistic, but cautiously optimistic. I often describe that as I'm a little scare-sighted for Saturday. But I have to say, I do think we have a good shot. I really do, and it just would be an amazing thing.
Well, last year's game really got off to a bad start when Brady Cook got hurt his hand, hurt his wrist, whatever it was. Then you bring in maybe the shortest starting quarterback in all of FBS last year. I can't even think of his name right now, Frank.
Drew Pine.
Nothing against Drew Pine, but he threw 3 interceptions in that game. And if I had to pick something that I would rate the coaching staff on negatively in that game, is like, don't have Pine throwing the ball right away. Come in, run the football, get your bearings, let him get comfortable before you start thinking about throwing the ball. Because it was actually, I think it was only a 1 touchdown difference when Brady got hurt.
Yeah, and then it's going to be 34-0.
Yeah, it was awful. But I think even then, had we run the ball with more emphasis, it would have been a different outcome. Win or lose, it just would have been a closer game. This team's identity this year, I mean, even though it was that last year, this is a run-first team. Outside zone, Ahmad Hardy is playing out of his mind right now. And to me, run him until his tongue falls out of his head tomorrow.
Yeah, and you're so right, because that's the one thing Alabama doesn't do well. Look at what Florida State did. Look what Georgia did. Look what Vandy did. They all ran up and down the field on them. So, look, I love Bo Perbula, but his role should be exactly what you said. Hand the ball off. Maybe some play action later, but, man, it's about Ahmad Hardy tomorrow.
No doubt. But I do think that Bo Perbula, who will be playing, of course, in the shadow of Ty Simpson, it will be completely ready for this game. I think that this will be an opportunity for him to rise to the occasion. This will be a big stage for him, but I think he'll play well.
Yeah, very, very good point as well. Okay, so Frank brought it up earlier in the show, and I was going to ask you this a couple weeks ago. Has everyone always been talking about the tush push, or is it, when I'm watching NFL football, does it just sound like it's something that announcers like saying over and over again? Is this always, that sort of, and we all
Australian
now know what it is, the scrim, but has it always been called that, and I'm just learning it? I was just this year's old when I learned it.
Like anything, every couple of years there's some play that becomes kind of gimmicky and it sticks. I know Frank doesn't like it. I personally like it because, listen, it's man-on-man football. It's about power, and it's one team saying to the other, stop us if you can.
And you would have had a big advantage in this, by the way.
True. That's very true. Now, how do you stop the tush push? Don't allow Philadelphia to get in those third and short situations, fourth and short situations, whatever the case may be. Keep them out of that. Play better defense, and you'll never see the tush push.
Okay, so quick, you have to answer these questions kind of quickly here. How many surgeries have you had post football?
9.
How many do you think you would have had if you were playing for Philadelphia for your 7 years in the tush push? 18? Can you imagine what that does to your body too? It's an orthopedic nightmare.
If you know how to protect yourself in those scrums, you'll be okay. You hit, you fire out, you tuck your legs, tuck everything like this to keep it compact. But be the first off the ball, not the last.
That's a good point.
Let me write that down. I think that's a good idea.
All right, so you mentioned that if they win, they put themselves in the top 12 for sure. They're definitely in the college football playoff. Then if they lose, though, there's still 6 games left and then 3 against ranked opponents. So you can put yourself in a great position, but if you lose, you still don't knock yourself out by a long shot.
No, not at all. It's one loss. And Mizzou, had it not lost that third game to South Carolina last year, you make a good argument that they would have probably been at least in the conversation, if not in the college football playoff last season. Those 3 games Missouri lost last year on the road at South Carolina, at Alabama, at Texas A&M. We get all of those teams at home, a little bit of revenge. You've already taken care of South Carolina. Now it's Bama Stern, and we'll look forward to A&M sometime in November. But I think these games are really meaningful for the players that were on the roster, especially last year. But playing them at home, Faurot Field has starting to become a bit of a nightmare for opposing teams. The fans have been incredible. And for those of you that will be there tomorrow, trust me when I say this, your ability to be loud is worth a victory to every season. And trust me, the players notice it. So be loud, be proud, be early, be often.
I can't wait for us to be playing some of your calls on Monday. Touchdown, Tigers! And
let's
Tigers with the pick 6. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
All right, so what about the elephant in the room in that if Auburn's season goes bad, they're going to get rid of Hugh Freeze. If Florida's season goes bad, they're going to get rid of...
It's a no, Frank.
Well, okay, I agree with you in one sense that Drink wouldn't leave, but I do think that Auburn, why would you not? Why wouldn't he be your first phone call? Yeah. And then with Florida, he'd have to be one of their first phone calls. But Mizzou's just got to say, okay, you're going to offer him this, we're going to match it because we are not going to lose this guy.
Get your checkbooks out, John.
Exactly. And, I think Drink is now ranked number 11 in the highest paid.
A bunch of guys tied at $9 million a year.
Right. Yeah. And listen, the reason I say that I think it's the longest of long shots, and, I've been wrong before, but, the pressure to win at Missouri is not like it is at Florida, at Arkansas, at Ole Miss, whatever the case may be, Ole Miss, Auburn. Drink, I think, and his family enjoy a really comfortable lifestyle. He's built something here and built that legacy here at the University of Missouri. You could become the winningest and the best coach of all time if you continue in the vein that on the trajectory that he's on. And I think he's got a really good chance of doing that. And there's no way I would, if it can't be about money. I mean, unless it's more about ego, about, I've got to be the highest paid or top 3 or whatever the case may be. I don't think he has that in his DNA. And I think he truly trusts how much faith that the folks of Missouri have put in him. They came after him. They wanted him. Won't say he was the first choice, but he was the best choice of anyone that they probably could have hired at that time. And I think he's grateful for that, and I know the Missouri fans are grateful that he's here.
It's amazing. He's only 42 years old.
Yeah, he's a baby.
This guy could end up being like one of the biggest sports figures in the region's history.
He wasn't even born when I was playing in the NFL. I mean, that's sad.
It's all relative.
Wow.
Like, I probably had forgotten more football than he knows.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
You want to stick around for one more?
Sure.
All right, let's take a break. Do you have a little business there, Jen?
Nope, we can go ahead and go straight to break.
It's the half price sale at Miller Furniture and Mattress going on now through October 14th.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. Right now, save half off our list price on all in-stock items. Plus, half off custom orders from Flex Steel, Smith Brothers, Amish-made furniture, and more.
And get 12 months financing, no interest, no minimum purchase. See our fully stocked Flex Steel galleries in the area's largest selection of Amish-made furniture. Plus, up to 75% off the list price on our outdoor furniture.
Sleep better and save big. Right now, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of any Chatham & Wells mattress. Plus, half price on select floor model mattresses from Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Spring Air.
Visit any of our 4 locations in Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville and save on over $8 million of inventory. You'll see why we were voted the Retailer of the Year by the Home Furnishings Association.
Don't miss the half price sale at Miller Furniture now through October 14th. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Kick off football season like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Circa Sports Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be. With high app limits, low holds, exceptional customer service, and no bet fees ever. Other books may charge you just to get on the field, but with Circa Sports, every play is yours to call. Start betting like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben with Timberline Professional Tree Care. You've heard me for years warning of the devastating effects of emerald ash borer. Well, the time has finally come that this pest has damaged or killed almost every untreated ash tree in the region. For some trees, it might be too late. But if you only have minor damage to your tree, please call Timberline Professional Tree Care as quickly as possible and get on our treatment schedule. Further, if you've been using a box store remedy or if another local provider has been treating your ash tree, give us a call. We bet we can save you a lot of money on your treatment program. Timberline has 7 ISA certified arborists and 5 licensed applicators to diagnose, treat, and save your trees from this and other harmful pests. To save your trees, just like we've saved thousands of other trees in the area, visit our new website at stltreecare.com or call 636-479-7475 anytime.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
Are you retired? Are you thinking about retiring? Who is helping you with retirement? Might be time to check out the show When Retirement Happens, hosted by Kevin Lloyd of Legacy Wealth Advisors. Saturday at 1, Sunday at noon on the Big 550 KTRS.
KTRS, St. Louis.
All right, we are back. This is Frank and Jill Show. Howard Richards, the All-American, former first-round draft choice of the Cowboys, and Mizzou analyst, who you can hear tomorrow, beginning at that pregame show probably start at 9.
9.
Yeah, and then the postgame show will end at 9 probably. It's the longest postgame show of all time. The biggest story probably in college football is the imminent demise of Bill Belichick at age 73. I say this is when it happened, I didn't think it was a terrible attempt because nobody cares about North Carolina football. He's the greatest coach in pro football history, arguably. Why not take a shot, try to be relevant, and it's just bombed. You don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, do you? This thing's not going to end right.
No. I think they're certainly planning his exit as soon as possible. And I must say I'm not surprised by it all. And not necessarily because of his age, but knowing the character, the personality that Belichick is, and compare him to Eli Drinkwitz. How current do you have to be with your players? Not just the recruiting, but the texting, speaking the same language they speak. You're almost like a big brother to your players in Drink's case.
Yeah.
I just couldn't see it happening. So the fact that he's going to be moving on, I think it's just a big miss by North Carolina for even considering that Belichick might be, a qualified candidate for that job, irrespective of his past football career.
Sometimes, like, legacies are different in the real world as opposed to sports. Like, Richard Nixon may have done some nice things in China, but his legacy is Watergate. Yeah. Like, Michael Jordan had this terrible ending in his career in Washington, but we don't remember that. We remember the great Michael Jordan. And I don't know, with Belichick, are we going to remember this or are we going to remember the Super Bowl?
In a couple of years, no one will remember it or care, but except the folks in North Carolina. The Tar Heels football faithful will remember, because now I think it sets them back, X amount of years, instead of hiring some, new, young, hotshot coach that, is more in tune with how the game has evolved. I just think is just a bad mistake by Carolina.
And we just live in a new era. You guys can correct me where I'm wrong, because obviously I'm much more of a novice understanding sports knowledge as either of you. But when I was a kid, it was like Indiana's great at basketball and they stink at football. North Carolina's great at basketball and they're
the same.
And they're bad, and that's okay. It was sort of like, this is what you're known for, and you kind of own that, and then you do the other thing too for some fun and rah-rah. But there's and now there's just, it seems like there's so much pressure to be the best at everything.
Yeah, and they've had some good players come out of that program, and they've kind of teetered on elevating how they were in the ACC, but just could not get over the hump.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think it also comes down to how you evaluate who you're going to bring in to run your programs. I mean, to me, the way that you evaluate basketball coaches,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, should really be similar to how you evaluate football coaches.
All right, final thought. You obviously have great taste in food in St. Louis, Old Town Donuts, Paul's Market. What about, we got a lot of people listening, they're going to go to the game tomorrow. What would be a great stop, a great place to eat after the game tomorrow in Columbia, besides the obvious like Harpo's and Shakespeare's? And
well, let me start with the best place to eat before you go to the game.
All right.
And that's a little spot right off I-70 on the service road on the, on the north side of I-70 called Big Mama's. It's maybe
Big
half
Mama's?
a block. Big Mama's. It's a little breakfast and lunch spot, but the food is amazing there. As far as dinner spots, I like, Addison's is good. Sophia's is really good, owned by the same ownership group. And they're consistent. They're consistently good, and they always have pretty big crowds there.
all right, sir, great to see you. We'll be listening tomorrow. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you guys.
Our friends at Premier Heating and Cooling are taking appreciating the fact that they're not having to, at least for these few days, having to fix everybody's broken air conditioners, because a lot of us have been able to turn them off and open the windows and get some fresh air finally, as we got slight break in that summer weather, which extended all the way through the month of September. Use this as just a good reminder that you want to get in and get that furnace clean and check happening before you have the before we get that first cold snap, and then you wonder, gosh, I hope there isn't a problem there. Our friends at Premier Heating and Cooling, of course, love taking care of you and love it when they get to do preventative stuff and don't have to come in and fix the big stuff. If you limped by last year and you know, actually, I should have done it sooner, but I'm going to do it now. It's time for that new air conditioning unit. Call them today, or a furnace unit. 636-916-1122, premierheatingcooling.net.
Hey, Doc, nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Well, have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. Can I run payroll too?
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
Do you know why right now is the absolute best time to book your new patio or deck with my friends at Outdoor Living? Aside from being the best in town, these guys are really smart. They pay attention to market conditions, and they've stocked up on patio and deck supplies, including steel, all before these tariffs kicked in. So while their competitors' pricing has gone through the roof, prices have never been better at Outdoor Living. Now is the best time to call and book your summer job. Not to mention, these same competitors have sold out to large conglomerates and hedge funds. Pat Leahy and his team remain locally owned and operated, providing the best pricing and the best service in town. So, looking for a new deck or a new fence or anything outdoor? Outdoor Living, 314-966-DECK. That's 314-966-DECK. Or check them out online, Outdoor Living Inc., or check out their great showroom, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood, OutdoorLivingInc.com.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Live and local.
Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. After Israel's government ratified Phase 1 of the U.S. peace plan, the ceasefire began and IDF forces pulled back to an agreed line in Gaza. The clock now running, with hostages set to be released as soon as Monday. ABC's Mary Bruce has more.
Hamas set to release the 20 living hostages early next week and the remains of 28 others who perished. In return, Israel releasing more than 1,000 Palestinian prisoners and pulling back its troops in Gaza to an agreed-upon line. The big question, then what? The president's 20-point plan had called for Hamas to disarm and for Gaza to be governed by an apolitical Palestinian committee overseen by an international board of peace with Trump as its chairman.
President Trump expected to travel to the region for the signing, he says. Today, the president is at Walter Reed Medical Center for a scheduled physical. Here's ABC's Karen Travers.
Over the summer, the White House said the president was diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency after he was seen with deep bruises on his right hand and swollen legs.
It is 10th day of the government shutdown. The Senate and House not in session today. 750,000 furloughed workers, including military members, receiving only partial paychecks, with Republicans and Democrats blaming the other. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio says missing paychecks are ahead.
House Democrats say they're willing to pass a standalone bill to ensure pay for troops during the shutdown. If Congress doesn't reopen the government by October 15th, it'll be the first time in modern history that service members go without pay because of a shutdown.
For the second time in 2 weeks, the Justice Department indicting a political enemy of President Trump's, New York Attorney General Letitia James, facing charges of alleged mortgage fraud. James successfully brought a $500 million civil fraud case against President Trump and his family business. James denies the allegations, and the president says the president is seeking revenge. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-859-3220. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-859-3220. That's 800-859-3220 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220.
This is KTRS News. I'm Sobe Bay. An Alton man pleaded guilty to charges of sexually abusing an infant. 36-year-old Nathan Welch entered that plea yesterday. He also pleaded guilty to producing child pornography. He faces up to 90 years in prison when he's sentenced. The sheriff of St. Louis is being placed under house arrest following new federal charges. The U.S. Justice Department unsealed an indictment against Sheriff Alfred Montgomery Thursday, accusing him of tampering with evidence and retaliating against witnesses. Federal prosecutors say Montgomery was heard in a recorded phone conversation admitting to demoting a lieutenant because he believed they were involved in a case against him. U.S. Senator Dick Durbin is speaking out about the indictment of New York Attorney General Letitia James in federal court. The Democratic lawmaker from Illinois released a statement which reads in part, "First it's James Comey, now it's Letitia James. Next, it could be anybody who ever crossed Donald Trump. If any elected Republican actually gives a damn about a weaponized Justice Department, speak up now." The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services is urging residents to take precautions as the state experiences a rise in West Nile virus activity this year. Surveillance data shows a marked increase in human cases in Missouri as well as nationally compared to previous years. And many families travel from far distances to St. Louis to get treatment at local hospitals for their seriously ill children, and this can be a financial and emotional strain for many. KTRS's Steve Potter reports about a local charity that helps with food and lodging that is currently conducting its fall fundraiser.
There are 2 Ronald McDonald houses in St. Louis that provide a home away from home for families so they can stay close to their hospitalized children. On The McGraw Show, McDonald House Chairman and CEO R.J. Crunk says so far this year they've helped close to 1,000 families who've had children hospitalized in St. Louis, and that this current fundraiser is important.
It's our Home Away from Home campaign this fall, and we're trying to raise about $600,000 to help close out the year to make sure that going into next year and the end of this year that we can continue to provide this service for the families.
You can donate at rmhcstl.org. Crunk says although a nominal fee is requested, no families are turned away or denied a stay because of their ability to pay. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minutes is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. There is a spike in Missouri unemployment claims. KTRS's Jill Enders has more.
The number of initial unemployment claims is up sharply in Missouri. The Missouri Department of Labor reports there were over 6,200 claims filed during the week ending on October 4th. That marks an increase of nearly 4,000 claims from the previous week. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
And now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 a.m. On Wall Street right now, the Dow Jones is down 545 points to 45,826. S&P 500 is down 98 points to 6,636, and the NASDAQ down 453 points to 22,571. KTRS Sports. Number 14 Mizzou football takes on number 8 Alabama tomorrow in Columbia, one of the biggest games of the weekend. Catch a full in-depth preview beginning tonight at 6 p.m. on KTRS right here with the James Carlton State Farm Mizzou Game Plan Show. Game day coverage begins tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. right here on the Big 550. And number 17 Illinois football hosts number 1 Ohio State tomorrow morning in Champaign. The Illini look to upset the Buckeyes for the first time since 2007, which was also a top-ranked OSU squad. KTR's weather today: isolated rain, chances for midday, a high of 72. Tonight, clear with an overnight low of 50. Warmer into the weekend. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 74. And Sunday, sunny, high of 77. Right now, under cloudy skies, we have 58 degrees. The time is 11:07. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Miller Furniture, St. Louis's home for American-made furniture, presents Lynn Venhouse Goes to the Movies.
Let's go to the movies.
On the Big 550, KTRS.
Good morning. We're so glad you're with us for the second hour of the Frank and Jill Show. Jill Farmer, Frank Cusimano, Carl the intern sitting in for Connor today. Always great to have him, and I know you'll be part of this conversation that we have with Lynn Venhouse every week. This one's kind of extra special, though, isn't it, Lynn? It's St. Louis is having its time in the sun when it comes to Soul on Fire at local theaters today. What'd you think of it?
Well, I thought it was quite the redemptive story, and it made St. Louis look wonderful. And so I think about this new tax credit that we have now, hopefully more companies will take a chance on St. Louis. But it's such an incredible story. I don't think you need too much embellishment on the true story, do you? Because it's so fascinating.
Yeah, let me ask you, Lynn, did you go as a regular fan, or did you go as a special screening?
I went to the one, Carl was there, and so was Jill, at the St. Louis Filmmaker Showcase way back in July. Yeah.
Not the red carpet one.
Okay, I'm wondering, though, did the movie open last night, or did it open...
I think the official is tonight.
Yeah, I want to know from people, like maybe on Monday we'll find out, is how it's doing in our theaters. Because, Lynn, what was your total rating on it? You give it on a 1 to 10, or you do it Rotten Tomatoes with a percentage? And what was yours?
I did a B. I do a letter grade, so I did a B because it's a solid effort from all involved. You know, it's very well-intentioned. It's well-meaning. You can tell there's a lot of heart that was put into it. I think the cast really was very good in conveying this story. And John O'Leary himself is a remarkable person, and he's so self-effacing, and he doesn't they don't really sugarcoat all his struggles. But I think the big takeaway is how the community rallied for him, and Jack Buck, of all people, came and became a motivating factor in his recovery and throughout his life. Mm-hmm. He was still there when he graduated from SLU. And SLU looks really good, I think. And I think Mercy, the hospital, and I think everybody, the healthcare workers, everybody comes across as just very positive. And that's what the movie is. You know, it's faith-based company. Sony Pictures a firm. But I don't think it's heavy-handed in terms of that. But I do think that the message is that you get by with other people, because John O'Leary's the first person to say that. I made every mistake in my life, and without these people, I wouldn't be here.
Lynn, my question, I guess, and Carl, you can chime in on this too, because you guys know a lot more about this than me. But I know that, you know, when it was originally done, it was probably slated for more limited release. It's been now going to have a wider release, which is good news. And of course, from the St. Louis film industry perspective, we're trying to put ourselves on the map as a great place to make movies. Costs are lower, great talent pool here. All of those reasons that we want to see ourselves have this be part of not a once in a great while thing, but something that happens more regularly here. What kind of national numbers or what kind of ticket sale numbers on this first weekend does a movie like Soul on Fire need to get to be able to make it be successful and help pave the way for other films?
Well, obviously, you want to get back your investment. all the investors in the movie want to see it happen. Now, faith-based movies, the Christian film community has done exceptional box office in the last couple of years for King and Country, and we've seen a number of them. I think it's going to do really well at the box office. I think word of mouth, because we think in St. Louis it's going to do very well. It has to open. What do you think, Carl? How many million do you think it's going to make this weekend?
I'm not sure about how many million, but I know that there are a lot of church groups that are going, and those usually help out the numbers. And I do want to mention one thing about it. It is a faith-based movie, but it's not too Jesus-y, because I know
not too
that
preachy.
It's not. They're not proselytizing at all.
No.
They mention God in a limited amount, because I know that some faith-based movie. They get turned off by that. This is a faith-based movie, but it's not too much.
Yeah. And Lynn, along what you said, we had Dennis Quaid on Sports Plus a couple of weeks ago, and I asked him about, because he's doing more faith-based movies, and I said, why would you do something that would not be quite as, box office smash hitish? And he said, he goes, well, you got to remember, he goes, a lot of these movies don't cost that much money to make that I'm making right now. And if you look at the profit margin, it's actually, quite good. So maybe they are, like you say, getting a little bit more vogue and a little bit more chic. Now, I just looked on Rotten Tomatoes, Lynn, and there's no score yet for Soul on Fire. I'm wondering, gut feel, and I put too much emphasis on this, I'm sure, but what do you think Rotten Tomatoes' number is going to be on this?
Well, I posted last night. I was the 6th reviewer to post. So I'm not sure how many they need for a score. But the New York Times posted. I was shocked at that. And then there's Common Sense Media and some types like that. But Carl will tell you, the St. Louis film critics were not invited to a special screening ahead of time. So I don't know how many local people are going to be generating buzz.
That's the thing. They don't. Sorry, Lynn. They don't screen these films for critics because they don't have to, because they have a built-in audience. They know that these church groups are going to go to this film, so they don't need it. They're critic-proof.
Right, they are. I don't really think the Rotten Tomatoes score is going to do any difference, especially in St. Louis, because it is such a genuine portrait of resilience and courage and everything that we like to talk about, hope. And there's a lot of love, and his family, his two sisters. I think, Jill, you talked to this when you and Frank interviewed John O'Leary about his two sisters helping after the fire. The one, it was January, and the one was in a little nightgown, and she was holding him. When he was burnt from head to toe, and his other sister came and splashed water on him, and that prevented him from that much scarring. But it's just the motivating factors. And I just think St. Louis looks really good. Everything about it. Their locations that they shot, they used John O'Leary's parents' home in Kirkwood as the family home in Town and Country. So, because he grew up in Town and Country. So I just think it looks like this wholesome place that you'd like to raise a family.
All right. We love intense movies, so I do. And A House of Dynamite looks like, according to you, a great movie. Tell our listeners.
Oh, yes. It's directed by Catherine Bigelow, and she is the first female to win an Oscar for The Hurt Locker. She also did Zero Dark 30. She's very intense. This is a good movie. It's as intense as it is unnerving. It just cuts to the chase. There are 18 minutes before a nuclear missile hits Chicago. And the United States doesn't know where it was launched from. Is it China, Korea, Russia? Who knows? So the president of the United States is played by Idris Elba. He has 18 minutes to make that decision because he's the only person to activate the nuclear codes. So it shows you the situation room. Tracy Letts is a general. Jason Clark is a general. Jared Harris is Secretary of Defense. They show three different perspectives. Rebecca Ferguson works in the White House in national security. It is just, they're cool, calm, and collected, but it's unnerving because they all have families. They can't say anything. They're basically just on this watching in horror as this unfolds and making decisions. And it's really it's going to be on Netflix starting October 24th, but it's in theaters today. And they did have technical advisors on this film, so it's so realistic looking at all the locations.
Interesting. Both my daughters, I got a text this morning saying that the new Victoria Beckham doc that came out on Netflix is actually really interesting and enjoyable. And then John Candy there's a new documentary today on Amazon Prime about him, and you really liked it.
Oh, yes. This is going to make you laugh and cry. It's going to bring up all the joy that he gave people. What's really special about this is it's just so many talking heads, all his friends, everybody participated. Nobody has anything bad to say about him. Everybody loved him so much, and you can just feel their loss. It starts with Dan Aykroyd's eulogy at the Catholic Mass, and it ends with towards the end, it's Catherine O'Hara from her remarks at the church, and then it's Bill Murray, Tom Hanks. Colin Hanks directed the film, and it's who else? So many people. Eugene Levy. Macaulay Culkin's really good as a talking head because John Hughes wrote Uncle Buck for John Candy. They made 9 movies together. Steve Martin, Conan O'Brien, Dave Thomas, Andrea Martin, everybody from SCTV. It's really insightful. And then his family, his daughter Jennifer and his son Christopher and his wife Rose. They had a very long marriage, and he died at age 43 in 1994.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like with Bellucci and with Farley, they had demons. What about John Candy?
Well, he did not pay attention to his weight, or he didn't quit drinking. He didn't quit smoking, and obviously that contributed to his heart attack at that young age. He was a people pleaser. He wanted everybody to feel good. He took care of everybody, his daughter said. He wanted everybody to feel good. So at his expense, he was that jovial, funny guy that was the life of the party. And he just lit up a room, and everybody loved him so much. But all the talking heads talk about the price of fame and the demands on a person, especially if you're a people pleaser. You're trying to please everybody. It's just really hard business to do that. And so that's his, if any, when they're reflecting, he gave and gave and gave, that kind of story.
Before we let you go, people are always looking for TV series to watch, especially on the weekends. I've already talked about Task. Is there anything else sleeper-wise, a great series that if people have some free time this weekend, they should binge watch?
Well, I think they need to catch up on Task, which is on HBO, and also Black Rabbit, which is on Netflix. Right now, I think we're not having a big super premiere, are we? I don't think so. Carl, do you recall? Carl's so busy with hockey, I'm sure he has no time to watch television.
Yeah, I'm missing the last episode of Only Murders in the Building, and then last night was the season finale of Peacemaker, so I'm behind on stuff.
What about Peacemaker? What is that about?
Peacemaker is it's James Gunn from St. Louis. It's in the Superman universe, so it is a superhero thing.
Very cool. Lynn, before we let you go, what's going on in Miller Furniture? The sale continues for just a few more days.
Right, October 14th. So you do not want to miss this sale because it's only twice a year, and it really is half price. They have specials on Tempur-Pedic mattresses on the floor, which how often is Tempur-Pedic on sale? So if whatever you need, and especially this is a good time to be thinking of Christmas, you need a new dining room table to fit all your growing family on, or recliners for football games. It is half price, and it's quality American-made furniture, and because it's American-made, no tariffs. So go to Ellisville, Lake St. Louis, Belleville, or Fairview Heights showroom and let the best customer service in the area take care of you.
Let's talk about a getaway where you're not spending all the time on the road. How about Innsbruck? Think about it. You could go from your desk to a canoe and do some fishing in about 25, 30 minutes. They've got A-frames, they got tree houses, or if you're looking for a place to live that's away from hustle and bustle, custom homes and condos as well. It is absolutely gorgeous. Have you been out? Have you looked? Go to Innsbruck-resort.com to find your getaway.
Hi, I'm Mike Vitale from Vitale's Bakery on a Hill. Our family runs a bakery and a retail store started by our parents, Pete and Grace Vitale, in 1976. Vitale's Bakery makes the finest Italian bread and pastries, including our mom's legendary Giugiulana seed cookies and her famous meat sauce.
And don't forget our pizza crust.
We also carry customers' favorites like lemon ice. Come taste our Italian heritage today at the corner of Bischoff and Marconi. Vitale's Bakery on a Hill, where you're not a customer, you're family.
Early detection is crucial in the fight against breast cancer. Surprisingly, even in women of average risk, abnormalities can be found. So even if you don't think you are at risk, screening is essential to prevention and saving lives. The Show Me Healthy Women program offers free breast and cervical cancer screenings to women ages 21 through 64 free of charge if you qualify. Please visit our website at health.mo.gov/showmehealthywomen or call toll-free 866-726-9926 for more information and to see if you qualify.
Classical music legends take to the stage with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra at Slatkin and Axe, Hope and Humanity, this October 11th and 12th. Conductor Leonard Slatkin returns to lead the U.S. premiere of his own work, Schubert T. Ada, an orchestra fantasy, as well as Elgar's majestic First Symphony. Also, Grammy Award-winning pianist Emmanuel Axe showcases his adventurous spirit in Mozart's Piano Concerto, No. 25, October 11th and 12th at Powell Hall. Tickets available at slso.org.
Carney, Buck.
We are on to Friday, and you probably are as well. We'll talk movies with Tom O'Keefe on the show.
Also, we'll play some Know the Show where you can win fabulous Carney Show prizes.
Aaron Lapidus with a sneak peek of Straight Talk on retirement this weekend.
And our friends from the Vision Walk return to tell us about this year's fundraiser. We'll see you right at noon.
John Carney, Julie Buck. Weekdays at noon on KTRS. The talk of St. Louis.
Are you ready for some football?
Mizzou football on the Big 550 KTRS is powered by Graybar.
High snap, good place, kick is up, and it is good.
This Saturday morning, your undefeated Mizzou Tigers welcomes the Alabama Crimson Tide to Furrow Field in Columbia.
Kickoff at 11, pregame at 9.
Catch all the action right here on the Big 550.
KTRS.
Presented by Graybar. For all your electrical and datacom solutions. Want a song?
Surround my mind like the song on the radio.
Want a quote? It's the song and quote of the day on the Frank and Jill Show. Right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
I did something I've never done before. Welcome back, everybody. Frank and Jill Show, wrapping up our 11 o'clock hour here. Lots of stuff still coming.
Eat 2 donuts?
No, I know, but I'm saving.
You don't even touch that. What restraint? Can you believe that? She has
It's sitting right in front of her.
Right in front of her. I ate mine in 12 seconds.
It's the French cruller, which is
the best.
Out of this world at Old Town Donuts, and I'm going to have it as dessert with lunch because otherwise it spikes my blood sugar and then I start to get a little woozy. I got to have
and she keeps trying to give the rest of them away.
Well, I want to share because they're so good.
You did share. He brought them for you.
Yeah.
I know, but I want...
That is a lot of donuts for you and John, I got to tell you.
It's really a lot. Reggie is here, and he would be happy to have one. What I have done that I've never done before is I bought tickets for tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. I thought it was my civic duty for Soul on Fire, even though I'm not going to be in town. They're just going to be unused tickets. But I was like, I got to go for free the first time, and I felt like that was my one little way to...
Yeah, that was very nice of you. Let me ask you this.
Frank's got nothing to do tonight.
No, I do. And I love it. I'd go again. But, boy, you don't have them with you. No.
No, but I've got I can send you the...
Gosh, I wonder if we should give them to an audience member. But probably too late.
Maybe.
Yeah. That was very civic-minded of you. Very nice.
I did give one of the sets away to a friend who's kind of going through a tough time, and I thought it would be just an encouraging movie. And I hope she hasn't felt like getting out and about much, but she said she's going to strongly consider it. So I forwarded her the email. But yeah, it's is my one, or our 2 tickets that we're buying, is that going to make or break whether this is, as I just know some people that have been really trying to get that film industry going in St. Louis, and I think it's a good thing for everybody.
What does a movie ticket cost now? It's been a while.
$9 is what I paid. So it was very small in the big picture of things. It was not it wasn't a big commitment of generosity on my part. I was not one of the investors of hundreds of thousands of dollars like some other people in our community.
You're helping Zipper Zeppa get his money back.
I didn't realize Zip was one of the investors.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
And one of he did a lot of work on that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that's great.
He was at the premiere that we were at, and it was really fun to see him. I'll tell you who was really fun to see was John Hewlett, because he had and his wife, and he had a real close up and a
his daughter
speaking
too.
line. It was
his daughter
great.
was with him.
His daughter went to the red carpet premiere.
Yeah.
Ruth came to the one that we saw at the High Point.
That's great.
Yeah, it was very cool. So how many times have you had a chance to listen to Taylor's new album that just downloaded?
That would be 0.
You haven't? Okay, well, you are in luck today, because
I've been waiting,
Carl and I picked I think we both agree this is our favorite. We think it's the catchiest.
The most up-tempo.
Up-tempo. And how do you say it?
Opalite.
Opalite, okay.
Because it's about opals.
Okay. So Opal, that would be Brooke Cusmano and my birthstones.
Very nice. I prefer Taylor Dane. Don't rush me.
You do bring up Taylor Dane for being
He was neat.
a
Can we play that coming out of the next break? Taylor Dane, Don't Rush Me. That's a great song. All right.
I just always catches me. Max, what do you have to say?
Well, I had to come running down the hall because
To
that
get some donuts?
song. No, because of the song. Because
Okay, good.
because I think Opalite sounds so much
up-tempo.
like Olivia Newton-John.
Oh,
so I think the next time
let's
you
see that.
play that, think of Olivia Newton-John. I think there's some huge vibes there in that song. Anyway, that's all.
That is very cool.
Now you can have a donut, Max.
Okay.
And have you seen, is there like a music video to this, or is this just a song?
It's right. I went to the movie last week because it was.
There's a
Taylor Swift movie. It was just for 3 days, and it was the #1 movie last weekend.
Oh, my God.
And she took it out. I'm sure it'll be streaming soon. But it was one video that they showed twice, and then the other 11 songs were just lyric videos. And they were the clean versions. So, because she knew that all these kids were going to go to this.
Does she do much dirty music? Or
Not really, but this
There's
is the
some
most.
double entendre on this, and she is 35, and certainly a lot of our favorite music. She's getting some pushback. I'm like, listen, a lot of the great musicians of the world, definitely had songs that were not, and we grew up listening to them that weren't rated, G, and that's okay. It's not terrible.
I mean, like the Barry White songs are all about kind of lovemaking, I think, in a sense. So, yeah, Teddy Pendergrass, too.
Yeah, a lot of thumbs up coming across from me today on that. And of course, she's breaking all the records. I don't even want to list all of them because
$2.1 billion net worth as we speak.
That's all.
Yeah, selling a lot of records. She was on Jimmy Fallon this week. Really, really good ratings for that show. And of course, you guys probably saw and heard all the stuff when she talked about the engagement, but everybody's interested. But he asked her when was the last time she listened to one of her songs that wasn't on the new album. And she said that she had an interesting tradition when it came to that. This is what she said. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I thought that was very cool. And she, later on was like, I know I'm a nerd. I know people are like, why would you do that? But she just
Did she listen to both versions? Because remember, she released first album, and then 2 hours later, she released the second half of the album. So I'm wondering if she listened to both parts.
You are a good detail person. Yes, that was a good. Did you start being introduced to Taylor Swift because you have a daughter who is right smack dab in the middle of
and she was
her
class
fan
of
base.
22, so that was their song. 22 was their song.
Oh, nice.
And now she's about to turn 22 in a week.
Have you taken her to a concert?
We saw the 1989 concert that was at Enterprise Center. We did not go to Reputation, and then Eras was not here.
Wait a minute. She had a concert called 1989.
That was the name of the album.
Okay. Oh, gotcha.
Because that's the year she was born.
Yeah. I know Bob Ramsey has spent an arm and a leg taking his
Did he go to
beautiful
the
daughter
Eras?
to one of
Mhm.
those concerts. Yeah.
But we saw 2 concert tours ago, so that's enough.
Last night, or no, a few nights ago, when I'm getting back to the station, there were more women walking by Channel 5 to go to the Jonas Brothers. Just packed.
I have a quick story. I was leaving, excuse me, at 11 o'clock, and women and their daughters were accosting me. Are the Jonas Brothers still here? And I said, they left. No, you're lying to me. You're lying to me. No, because they were walking by the press entrance because they were thinking that the Jonas Brothers were going to walk out the
This
press
is the
entrance.
next day?
No, this was the night of the show.
Oh.
Because I worked the lights that night.
Okay.
And so the bowl was clear, and there were lots of women in sequin boots waiting by the press entrance thinking that the Jonas Brothers were going to come out. And I explained to them, there's a parking garage underneath the building, and they have a show in St. Paul tomorrow. They're gone. You're protecting them. Well, yes, but no, I was not lying.
Oh, that's funny. So my daughter, who's 28, is right in, of course, the heart of the Jonas Brothers fandom. She's not here in St. Louis, but she did go up to see him in Minneapolis a couple of years ago. And her amazing husband, Mark, who's 5 years older than her, so he's 33, went. And I said, Mark, how was the show? And he said, well, it was fun to see how excited Peyton was. And it was long. That's how he described it. He was not the target audience, clearly, for that
They've
show.
been bringing out special guests every single show, and they brought out Natasha Bedingfield, and every single person sang along and was more engaged with her singing Unwritten than any Jonas Brothers song of the entire night.
How many people were there?
It was sold out.
Yeah. I got to say, I don't know this because I'm not an expert like you two on this, but Jonas Brothers seem like pretty decent people.
Yeah. They were Disney
good
kids.
citizens.
Is Natasha, is that, I got a pocket
Full of Sunshine, but she didn't sing that. She sang Unwritten,
Okay. But
which
that's
every single person was screaming along.
okay. They were also in that target audience for that. Well, that was cool. That's a cool surprise anytime somebody comes out this. Something else that's pretty cool is every day, happy hour. How about this, you guys? 4 o'clock, appetizers, drinks, live entertainment 4 times a week. Somebody else taking care of your sheets every week, making sure that they're washed and clean. Daily housekeeping services, personal laundry services, assistance with dressing, showering, medication management. It just gets completely overwhelming. All things that our friends at McKnight Place, that's just part of what you get every day, not to mention all utilities, including local and long distance telephone, all kinds of social learning opportunities, free rides to great things like the Jonas Brothers, if that's what you want to go see. That's just part of what the many, many great things that come from living at McKnight Place. So many of the folks who decide that they're going to live their best life during this season of life at McKnight Place and the other Gatesworth communities, the Gatesworth and Park Provence, they say, I just had no idea how much fun it would be. I had no idea how good the food would be. I was thinking about all the things that I was leaving behind in not living in the home that we raised our kids in, but I didn't think about all the incredible things that it would add to my life. And that's what prompts people to say, now's the time to have the conversation. McKnightPlace.com, 314-993-3333.
The University of Missouri-St. Louis is committed to providing top-ranked education. More than 80% of our students receive financial aid. At UMSL, more is what moves us. Find your more and explore your financial aid options at more.umsl.edu.
Michael's Baths, operated by Michael Gower and his daughter Melody. If you want a bathroom remodel, Michael's Baths will give you a free quote. Walk-in showers that all look like natural stone, maybe some grab bars, whatever you need. All they use are American-made products, so you're not at the mercy of any tariff increases. Right now, get a free shower door or $500 off a bathroom remodel. Michael's Bath, 636-775-0800, or online at michaelsbaths.com.
Hey, it's John Carney. A lot of conversations with the folks over at Allen Roofing, pretty much asking advice, because I know a lot of people got smacked by that storm, and he had some great advice for people to think about. First off, be careful of who you talk to when you're going to get some work done. Make sure there's an agreement, and the scope of work is laid out in that contract. Also, as you can imagine, a lot of contractors are busy. Give them some time, and you know what? Allen Roofing will come put a tarp on your roof at no charge, even if you don't use them when you get the roof repaired. Also, check the Better Business Bureau, see what the reviews are for contractors that you deal with, and also remember, insurance companies allow up to an entire year from the date of loss to file a claim. So you've got time to get those repairs done and that replacement done. Don't rush it. Just a few tips from the people that know roofing and repairs better than anyone. It's Allen Roofing, online at aroofing.net.
Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Alliance is rebranding to Reese Nichols, a Missouri-born real estate company established 125 years ago. The same trusted agents who've served St. Louis for 45 years now have the backing of Missouri's most trusted brokerage. With offices across the metro and in-house mortgage, title, and insurance, Reese Nichols makes your move seamless. They proudly support the Ronald McDonald House, raising over $1.5 million for Missouri families. Visit reesenichols.com to learn more.
Weather's brought to you by Bommarito Automotive Group, Missouri's #1 automotive group. Check online. They have more than 12,000 vehicles available. Check them out at bommarito.com.
Kids don't always like to get school report cards, but they are important and helpful. They document subjects where they're strong and others where they need to show some improvement. Ever wonder why you don't get a report on how your child's school compares to others? At the Show Me Institute, we think you should, and that's why we've started the Missouri School Rankings Project. Click on the website moschoolrankings.org, and it's all there. Rankings and letter grades for all the schools in Missouri. The rankings are based on several categories, such as student performance in English, language arts, and math, ACT scores, and graduation rates. Then we take the rankings and come up with a grade point average, just like your child has. Each school and district will have a grade, and the website is easy to use. Don't you want to know how your child's school stacks up? Now you can. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one. A moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
Look at our alums, the contributions that they have made throughout industries in the St. Louis region.
Terry Freerks, a graduate of the University of Missouri, St. Louis.
UMSL is embedded in the fabric of the St. Louis community. We're hands-on, and when our students graduate, they are definitely career ready, but maybe more importantly, they're career confident.
More is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
It's the Big Sports Show with Sports Director Brendan Lisi. Weeknights 7 to 9 on the Talk of St. Louis, the Big 550, KTRS.
The great Taylor Dane. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. Want to give out a shout to our great sponsor, Kuna. They bring us the weekly special. They've been taking care of St. Louis restaurants for over 100 years. They took care of Il Balago, who was in yesterday. And tonight I'm going to one of my favorite all-time places, John Minio's, Clayton Road, Town and Country, unbelievable pasta, and they are great, great customers of the wonderful people from Kuna. We appreciate them being a part of the program.
Your order be tonight?
Something, I do like their spaghetti and meatballs, but I'm sure we'll have a variety of things. Their veal parm is really good. Their veal marsala is really good. I love their house salad. It's a great place.
You have mentioned a lot of times when you go to some of the great classic Italian places, you say you do order spaghetti and meatballs. Is it kind of your litmus test or the bellwether of just, they're going to do it, how great a restaurant is how wonderful they do at the basics?
Yeah, I think it's like the fundamentals of an Italian restaurant, that if you don't nail your red sauce, you're done. And it's got to be homemade, hopefully by a grandmother in the back or using her recipe in the back. And I just think that's a great...
Meatball, same thing?
Oh, absolutely. And their meatballs, they're just unbelievable there.
And the veal saltimbocca yesterday from our friends at Il Belago was gone by the time I got back there, but I did get some of the pasta.
Oh,
and
you did?
Then they had these incredible fried eggplant on a caprese
Balsamic.
salad with this balsamic reduction that it's make your mouth water. It was very, very good. Some good stuff on the Royal Banks of Missouri text line from the 314. My daughter went to the last Eras show, which of course was the Taylor Swift tour in Vancouver. T. Swift used cheering from that concert on her album, so my daughter claims she can hear herself scream on it. She's very excited. I thought
That's
that
on the
was,
final track.
Yeah, that was fun.
What would that cost now? Like to go to a Taylor Swift concert?
Well, depends on whether you got them the day they went on sale or whether you got them secondary.
Give me the
market.
range.
Anywhere between $200 and thousands of dollars, because they have VIP and you can upgrade as much as you want. But I'm guessing the nosebleeds would probably be $150, $200.
This is great, too, from the 314. I live a half mile away from Paul's Market, have my whole life. Established in 1960, true family business that has excelled. Bob the Woodworker, thanks. And he says that Howard, you do have to order your burnt ends available, even when you're Howard Richards. You gotta order them ahead of time.
When you were doing that spot for the Gatesworth, you were talking about sheets, and we have a sheet that's like a little ripper on our bed. And I told Monique last night, I said, spare no expense. Buy the most expensive sheets you can from here on out. I just think, if you spend that much time in there, why not get unbelievable stuff? And we've just been buying average stuff our whole lives. Have you ever bought like really great sheets?
No, I think the closest I've ever come is like staying. Sometimes when I've gotten to stay in nice hotels for work things, like if I'm doing a corporate gig and I get to stay at a nicer than our average Marriott where we stay, and I'm like, oh, this is what high thread count. That's the.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's the thing. Thread count.
Egyptian sheets.
So I just sent her while you were doing that spot. I Googled most expensive sheets to buy, and then her response is, "You're texting me about white sales now."
I kind of like they're not the most expensive, but I think the bamboo sheets are very comfortable and. When you're of a certain age, a woman of a certain age, as I am, and sometimes get a little sweaty at night, they I think are really good for temperature regulation. I do give those a thumbs up as well. We talked earlier in the show, Frank, about when we didn't get a chance to circle back around to what are those foods that maybe are an acquired taste, but you absolutely love them. We got some Braunschweigers per your tip as well, and that people reminding us it is liver, some Spam and eggs, Cincinnati chili. Have you ever had that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Hodges. Is that what it's called?
O.T. Hodges.
Yeah, I've been, because I lived in Lexington. We went there a few times.
And Skyline.
Skyline is the one. No, it's Skyline.
No, O.T. Hodges was St.
Hodges
Louis,
was
and that
Skyline,
was
yes.
beanless. That their chili had no beans. That was O.T. Hodges' kind of claim to fame, and you can still get it down at Chili Mac's Diner. They put it on a tamale or eggs if you want it. Skyline is if I'm remembering this right, isn't it macaroni noodles? And then you put the chili on top of the macaroni noodles, and then it's got
their
cheese.
Three-way.
Yes, but that's what they're famous for is the Skyline chili three-way. For sure, that's a good one.
Where's great chili though in St. Louis? I'll tell you what, the Country Club at Town and Country makes a good chili. You said Steak and Shake. Yeah, that's always been good chili. Yeah.
Yeah, I know this is a national chain, and normally we stick with the locals, but a good cup of Wendy's chili will hit you on a cold day. It's actually pretty
Wendy's
decent.
chili's good?
I think. Okay. You can even get on a baked potato as well. Somebody else saying that they did go down to Taste of St. Louis this year in Clayton because they just don't like to go downtown. Unfortunately, they were a victim of crime. I'm very sorry to hear that, but also conceding it was not the busiest time they've ever seen that. What's gravy bread, you guys? A couple of people texted.
I've never
gravy
heard
bread.
of it.
you know what that is?
That was Howard's thing.
Oh, he said that too? Okay.
Courtesy Diners still uses O.T. Hodges' chili recipe. Okay.
Okay, good to know. Anyway, these are very, very good additions to the conversation. You guys are always add a lot to that for sure. And Texas Roadhouse, this said, also has amazing chili if you've never tried it. Bowl and Branch sheets are the good fancy sheet brands. I've heard that before.
All right. I hope Monique's listening.
Okay, and somebody else saying Skyline uses spaghetti, not macaroni noodles. Thank you.
You know, on the sheets thing too, how many more years am I going to live? So why not? You know, I'm going to die with more than $200. Yeah, you got to have the best. I've never done that in my whole life. I always buy the cheapest, but now I'm going to go the best.
Yeah. Well, but isn't it kind of one of those things that you almost, not that this could never happen and you would never do this, you would never try out sheets and then return it, but it is sort of like, how do you know what the best are until you had a chance to?
Because a mattress you can actually lay in when you go to the place.
Yeah, we did that last time we got, and I have to say, we had not gotten a mattress in a really long time, and we did get a new one a couple of years ago, and this first night we slept on, I was like, what were we doing? I should have known that every time we would travel and I'd be like, oh, my back feels great. I sleep so much better. My hip doesn't hurt. That was my sign, perhaps, that I needed to get a new mattress long before we did.
Along those lines, does anybody still have a waterbed? Are you even old enough to remember waterbed?
I had to move somebody's waterbed once.
Yeah.
They didn't drain it first?
They did, but you had to wait. Like, we thought we were going to do it that day, and she's like, "Oh no, we have to wait till it's empty."
Gosh, yes. I had, I thought in the 70s I had a friend her parents were just younger and hipper than mine, and they had a waterbed at their house, and we would just go, we were like, this is the coolest thing. And then at some point, I think when I was getting ready to go to college, somebody in our church was getting rid of a waterbed, gave it to my family, and so my little sister, all the way through her high school year, she slept on a waterbed. And when I would come home from college, and sometimes I'd go in and sleep with her, and I was always like, this is terrible. If one person moves, the whole thing is there's just no way to not have the move you around.
I had a friend who thought he was like, George Clooney and Richard Gere, and I think he had a waterbed, and he used to tell us about the social damage that he would do. Those that was a 70s thing, though, right? Yeah. It kind of, I don't know anybody that has one now. Do you?
No, because and then they would break, and it was an
that's
issue.
A disaster. Oh, my gosh, yeah. All right, we should break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk with Dr. Joe Molesky next. It was actually my brother, and he...
Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
Yeah, they're on the med, and these medications are used, these GLP-1s, for reducing inflammation in your body. I get so many folks that are like, wow, I don't have the knee pain. I don't have the...
Because once you start losing weight, all these other things naturally happen to you in a positive way. Not just talk about the deals for KTRS listeners at STLMedWeightLoss.com.
All KTRS listeners, they get $50 to $100 off their first month. And what's beautiful about it, too, hey, I get it. The economy, what we just had, guys, things are difficult right now, but we make the plan work for you. We have financing options. We make this work for you because we realize how important it is to get down in your weight, get your confidence back, and really start feeling like the old you.
Call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
Health insurance can feel complicated, but Medica health plans are different. See, we're nonprofit, which means people first, not shareholders. And we're right here in St. Louis with affordable plans for local care you trust. Your doctors, your hospitals, to help you feel your best. With Medica, your health coverage can feel a bit simpler. And now, we're here for you. Medica Health Plans. You're not just covered, you're cared for.
What goes great with Mizzou Tigers football? Well, Dogtown Pizza, of course. And with 12 different flavors to choose from, you can have a different pizza every game.
Pepperoni peppercini, hot chicken, the SOB, sausage, onion, bacon, and the newest addition to the lineup, meatball mozzarella.
Forget the pumpkin spice. The best fall flavor is football and pizza. MIZDOG. Dogtown Pizza and dogtownpizza.com. Dogtown Pizza and check out all 12 flavors online at dogtownpizza.com.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
Time to clean out those garages, basements, and crawl spaces and list all your items on the Walter Knoll 550 yard sale. And if you're looking to get a great deal on an item that someone just doesn't need anymore, well, turn to the Walter Knoll 550 yard sale. Your one-stop swap shop every Saturday morning, and don't wait until 8. We're on for 2 hours, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. The Walter Knoll 550 yard sale. And let me tell you, the system works.
I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor with Capital Advisory Group. Now, more than ever, having a tax strategy to protect and grow your wealth is an absolute must. Every Saturday, Josh Gilbert and I will discuss how you can keep what's yours, because the most important part of your wealth plan is your tax plan. That's Keep What's Yours this Saturday afternoon.
Capital Advisory Group presents Keep What's Yours with Jeff Zufall and Josh Gilbert this Saturday afternoon at 3 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Welcome back, everybody. We want to wish Dr. Joe Molesky and his wife a happy day. They just had a baby boy, and we're hoping to get to chat with them before we wrap up the show today, because we know you guys like to text in your questions about the weight loss drugs, and we want to get a chance to answer them that, but he might be tied up with that new parenthood thing. Frank, did you see, I don't know if you saw this story, but I thought it was a really great one, speaking of medical news. Like millions of Americans, I have somebody close to me in my family who has Parkinson's disease. BBC Science magazine, I saw the headline this morning that scientists have for the first time directly visualized and counted the tiny protein clusters in the human brain that are the earliest triggers of Parkinson's disease.
Wow.
And it's not a cure by any means, but they're saying that it's further than they've ever been at being able to help understand what is the trigger that starts the disease, because that's where you get to the point where you can cure and slow it down. And they do a good job at drugs right now that ease the symptoms, like shaking, but nothing so far is attacking the root cause.
Boy, that could be huge. Gosh, man, how prevalent is Parkinson's now? Is it? Do we know how just devastating? I mean,
millions of Americans is what I'm seeing here in this report. Hey, Dr. Joe is on the line with us. We want to, first of all, congratulate you on the big news. You've got a new baby in the house.
Yes, it's our fourth baby, so we have 4 under 5. It's pretty busy at the house, but hey, I got my first boy, Joseph Charles Molesky, so my little Joe.
Well, that's great. So a lot of people trying to drop some pounds, and the way to do it is through St. Louis medweightloss.com. And Dr. Joe, what's going on in terms of development of this drug? We know it's done a lot of great things for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, basically what we're seeing is more acceptance of, these medications. They're injected under the skin once weekly. They control your appetite. They control food cravings. They control your metabolism. The medications work very easily. It's injected right under your skin, and people are still, I've been doing this 2.5 years, are still losing weight. And the beautiful thing is they feel back in control. I always say this to people, our taste buds are hijacked. So many people, it seems like you're bombarded with the next Starbucks, the next Krispy Kreme donut. Whenever you even go into a workplace, you have, cookies there. And really this medication calms your food cravings and keeps you on your diet. You don't have to yo-yo diet. It just keeps you stable and keeps you clear-headed.
In our last minute here that we've got with you, Dr. Joe, a listener question. I know you've had, now that you've been doing this for a couple of years, you've seen many, many, many people reach their weight loss goals. What are you learning, and how are people maintaining once they have reached their goals on these drugs?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, people get on these meds, they're at least on it 90 days to, 6 months. They lose anywhere between 25 and 30 pounds. They feel great, and maintaining is very easy. We'll get you on a maintenance dose. We half the dose, so if you go up to, let's say 5 or 6, 10 milligrams, we get you back down to, a lower dose, and then you maintain, okay? So you're taking it a little bit less frequently, and some people can actually go off of it, but we develop a plan specifically for you, custom made for you, and patients, they love it. They really do well on our maintenance dosing. So we make it simple for you. We book an appointment, stlmedweightloss.com. You can give us a call, 636-628-6604. And anybody that calls today or next week, we're going to give $100 off your order. So
in honor of new baby Joseph Molesky as well.
Yes.
Congratulations to you guys. What a great way to celebrate him coming into the world. And we can't wait to have you on next time as well. Thanks for making time for us today, Dr. Joe.
Thanks, guys.
Frank, what's your plans for the weekend?
Celebrating Brooke's birthday. Going to do a little pickleball here in about a half hour, and maybe a little golf later, a little food later. And then Saturday we get to babysit all the girls.
Oh, how fun. Carl, how about you?
Tate McRae tomorrow night at Enterprise Center.
Okay, all working all the time for you. I'm getting on the road in about 5 minutes to drive to Michigan. I'll be back on Monday morning. You guys, I've got John and Julie and Max coming up next. Heidi Glaus later on today. Keep your dial right here and make it a great one, everybody.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-859-3220. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-859-3220. That's 800-859-3220 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Mizzou football.
The rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 1061, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Tennessee, crews on scene of a massive blast at Accurate Energetic Systems, a high explosives plant in Hickman County, southwest of Nashville. Officials tell ABC News at least 13 are unaccounted for, and there are multiple deaths. ABC's Matt Rivers has more.
This is a company that makes a very wide array of different types of explosives for the military, aerospace, commercial, demolition. They're talking about TNT, claymore mines, avalanche control charges, pellets that are used in medium caliber warheads. There are a lot of things at this facility that are produced that explode.
The cause of the explosion not known. The government shutdown dragging into another week and to the point of real pain for federal workers receiving only partial paychecks today.
As the last paychecks go out to federal employees only covering work through September 30th, members of the House have been told they won't be needed back for votes next week. It's a sign the shutdown will drag on. Top House Democrat Hakeem Jeffries.
Mike Johnson's strategy is to keep House Republicans on vacation.
But the Speaker says the House has done its part.
The ball's in the court of Senate Democrats right now.
Democrats continue filibustering a House-passed bill that would reopen the government, insisting that Republicans add in Obamacare tax credits and reverse recent cuts to Medicaid. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Phase 1 of the U.S. peace plan ratified by Israel and Hamas now in effect in Gaza. Israeli Defense Forces pulling back to an agreed line in Gaza that will lead to the release of all remaining hostages as early as Monday. Palestinians also returning to their communities. Here's ABC's Ian Pannell.
Thousands of people streaming up that coastal road through the dust and the desert with the sea on one side towards what is left of their homes, of their communities, of their country. And the scale of destruction is immense. In some senses, Gaza, as we knew it, has gone.
You're listening to ABC News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866. 800-
You're listening to Flyover Footy with Matt Baker on the Big 550 KTRS.